Swirl marks and scratches are some of the worst problems that can occur to any painted vehicle. Swirl marks and scratches really bring down the look of any paint job and makes the car look neglected and uncared for, and can also bring down the value of the car. Now you could spend months polishing the car by hand, endless hours trying to achieve that look that professionals achieve, but today I'm going to show you how to remove all the swirls and scratches from a vehicle using machine polishing. And today I'm going to do that using the Porter Cable 7424 dual action polisher. And with today's technology of dual action polishers, anybody can easily polish the paint with perfect results every time. So today I'm going to go ahead and do that using our V34, V36, and V38 line of polishes, which we call the optical finish polish line. So first on our optical finish polish line is our V34. This is our hybrid compound which cuts through paint really fast and gets that look that everybody loves, quick and easy. This is for heavily oxidized and scratched and swirls paint that you really need to take time to cut through with a wool pad or a heavy cutting pad. Our next polish is our V36 optical grade cutting polish. And this is our optical grade cutting polish, which is a medium swirl remover, which will remove all the medium swirls on a vehicle that you might get from daily driving. Our next step down is our V38 optical grade final polish. And our final polish is a true jeweler's polish designed to bring out the true luster of the paint and bring up a swirl-free finish every time, removing any buffer holograms or marring that you may have on the paint. To do that today also, I'm going to team that with our Hex-Logic series of pads. This is our Hex-Logic 5.5-inch pad. I'm going to go ahead and cut the finish using the V36 and the orange cutting pad. And that's going to give me a nice cut and remove all the heavy swirls and scratches that are on the paint. The car is not extremely swirled or damaged and neglected, so I'm not going to have to use the V34, and I'm going to be able to skip right to the V36. Next after that, I'm going to use our V38 and our white Hex-Logic polishing pad. This is going to refine the finish and bring in that deep luster and make that metallic pop in the paint that everybody loves. Lastly, we're going to use our Hex-Logic black finishing pad. We're going to go ahead and create a nice finish using a jet seal, or I might even use a wax to finish that. That will give us the ultimate protection to protect the finish that we just made perfect on the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and inspect the paint first of all, and I'm going to use a halogen LED inspection light. And just by going over the paint, you can see that the vehicle has been washed improperly several times and has marring and vertical scratches all over the vehicle. This is from using an improper wash mitt or a dirty towel, but it also has some swirls from wiping in a circular motion. We're going to be able to take care of those today using the V line of polishes and cut through and get the finish that everybody loves. So to show you guys how great and how easy it is to use the optical grade finishing polish and the cutting polish, I'm going to go ahead and place a tape mark and make a square right on the hood so you can see an exact 50-50 difference between the two. So I went ahead and taped out a nice square to show you exactly the proper working area that you should work in when polishing your car with a dual action polisher. This is the exact size that you should do moving section by section across the whole hood. So if you can get this one area down, you can get the whole car down perfectly. So I'm going to grab my Porter Cable 7424 dual action polisher, and I have it with a 5-inch backing plate that's going to allow me to use 5.5-inch pads, which is perfect for this surface. I don't have too big of a coverage, I don't have too little, I have just the right amount of working pad to get the job done. So let's grab our orange pad. Now our Hex-Logic pads all use a hook and loop backing system, so all you got to do is simply press it right to the machine itself, nice and balanced, so we'll have a good rotation and a good polishing technique right on the vehicle. If you notice, I also placed some Sharpie lines right on the backing plate itself. These are going to show you on camera that I'm getting the proper rotation of the machine. When the machine's rotating properly, it will spin. When it's in the dual action mode of vibrating, you'll see the lines vibrating from side to side a little bit. So let's start the polishing process. First thing we're going to do is grab some pad conditioner. This is going to go ahead and soften the pad because it's a brand new pad and it's dry. And we don't want that dry friction rubbing on our paint causing more marring. We want to eliminate the scratches, not cause more. So I'm just going to spray 2 light sprays of the pad conditioner right on the pad. And then I'm going to go grab our V36 cutting polish. Now when we use our V36 cutting polish, you want to give it a good shake. And then we want to go ahead and place 5 dots right on the pad itself. These 5 dots need to be the size of a pea because we don't want too much. If you use too much polish, you're not going to get the right technique and you're not going to get the right results at the end of the polishing job. So the first thing we need to do is place the cord right over our shoulder so we don't bang the cord among the surface, causing any more scratches. Once we do that, we take the polisher and we place the polisher over the area that we're working with, spreading the polish nicely over the surface. This is just so we don't get any splatter when we turn on the machine. Next, we're going to take our machine and turn it down to speed setting 1. This is just for the spreading process to get the process going. So let's go ahead and spread our V36. There we go, guys. I got a nice even spread all over the hood to make sure I got a nice work area. Next, since we're removing swirls and scratches and we're using a cutting pad, we're going to bump it up to speed setting 6. We need that power and that cutting capability to remove all the swirls and scratches from the vehicle. So let's start polishing. Before I start polishing, I want you guys to take notice that as I polish, I'm going to be working in an overlapping 50-50 pattern, going from left to right, going down, and then continuing right to left. After I continue the whole square area, I'm going to go ahead and change my rotation and move up and down, and then down and up. So let's go ahead and start the polishing process. As I'm going to start polishing, I'm going to be placing my left hand on the top of the machine and putting 5 to 7 pounds of pressure on the machine itself. That's going to give me an even control and a nice cutting ability on the painted surface. Now I want you guys to take notice that as I'm polishing the vehicle, that the polish is turning clear. That means I use the proper amount of polish and the abrasive have broken down to start fine cutting the paint. This clear area right here means that I'm doing the job properly and I'm getting great coverage and an even material removal over the surface. So for my last few passes, I'm going to go ahead and release my pressure from my left hand and let the machine free spin more. That will give me a nice luster to the paint and bring out any depth and pop with the cutting capability. So let's finish our last couple rounds of polishing. There we go. We removed all the swirls and scratches from the paint using our V36 cutting polish. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the excess polish from the vehicle. Some people might choose to wait a little while before they polish the whole car to remove the polish, but I personally recommend that you remove the polish instantly right after polishing. That way all the oils built into the polish itself will help remove it and give a better look in the end. So I want to grab a clean microfiber towel, but before I place it on the surface, you want to make sure that it's folded in 4s. So you want to take the microfiber towel itself, fold it one way long, fold it the other way in half, and now you have a nice perfect square that's going to give you a nice cushion to put your hand on when you remove the polish. So let's go and remove that V36. V36 takes little to no effort to remove, because we're barely removing any polish from the surface. Remember, we only used 5 pea-sized drops on this small panel. There we go. That surface looks real fresh. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my machine and remove my orange cutting pad. I'm going to go ahead and grab my white polishing pad. I'm going to go ahead and place this on the machine, and this is what I'm going to use to brighten up the finish using our V38 finishing polish. So I'm going to give the finishing polish a good shake. And once again, just like before, I'm going to place 5 small dots right on the pad. Now you want to be careful with V38 that you don't place too much on there, because too much can go way too far very quickly. So one thing you'll notice as I start polishing with the V38 is that V38 has a lot of play time. And what I mean by play time is the working capability for the polish to keep going over and over and over again, multiple passes to get even, very fine material removal. This is great and what detailers like to call a jeweler's polish. That way you can keep polishing a vehicle and brighten up the finish without removing that much paint, giving the best result possible. So, just like we polished with the V36 and the orange, I'm going to go ahead and use the V38 and the white to achieve that great finish. Let's go polish. Just like before, I'm going to go ahead and place our polish all over the paint. So that way when we turn on the machine, we don't get any sling of the polish spraying all over myself or the cameraman. Go ahead and place my machine back on setting 1. I'm going to go ahead and spread over the surface. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my machine, turn it back up to speed setting 6, and I'll go ahead and start my polishing. So, let's go ahead and make this finish look amazing. Now, as you guys may notice on the camera, the polish has started to become clear, and that means that the polish has reached the end of its work cycle. That means that the finish is perfect and the polish has done its job. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more passes, applying light pressure to the machine to finish out the surface. Then we're going to go ahead and inspect it and apply some protection. So let's finish out this V38 polishing. So now we finished our V38 polishing. Now I want you guys to take notice, as I turn the machine off, I left the machine on the surface before I turn the machine off. This way I don't get any splatter. This way I also don't wear out the bearings in the machine and keep a nice long life to our equipment. So I'm going to go ahead and take the machine off the surface. I'm going to reach for a brand new microfiber towel once again, folded in 4s. And I'm going to go ahead and simply remove all of the V38 polish from the surface. So now that we've gone and completed the process of refining the finish with the V38 finishing polish, I'm going to go ahead and place some protection on the surface. After you spend a lot of time and a lot of energy investment into your paint, you want to go ahead and apply a protection that's going to protect your paint from water spots, from overspray and contamination, and also can help prevent against any light scratches that can occur back onto the paint. So to do that today, I chose to use lava, our luminous glow infusion. That way we have the best protection and the best look on this black metallic Audi paint. So, to use that, I'm going to go ahead and spread it with a machine. You can go ahead and spread it by hand, but since we're using a machine to polish, I feel it's going to be quick and easy using the Porter cable. So I'm going to remove our white polishing pad, and I'm going to reach for our black finishing pad. This is going to be the perfect pad to apply our lava deep onto the paint. So now we have the pad right secured to the hook and loop backing plate. I'm going to grab our lava. I'm going to simply scoop a nice amount right from the pot. I'm going to place this directly right on the applicator pad. This way we get a nice even spread of the lava all over the surface. So to spread lava, I'm going to go ahead and put the cord right over my shoulder. And I'm also going to take the machine and turn it down to speed setting 2. This way I have a nice coverage without having any abrasive machine power, which could instill any swirls in the paint. So let's go ahead and wax the car. Just like before with the polish, I'm going to go ahead and spread the wax, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on and spread it evenly, making about 2 or 3 passes. There we go. Now our lava is applied. Now all we got to do is wait 20 minutes before we remove the lava to ensure a great bond to the surface. So I'm going to go grab a drink of water, and we'll see you in 20 minutes. So now we have our lava applied and dried to the surface after 20 minutes to ensure a great bond. So now I'm going to grab our third microfiber towel, fold it in fours, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the lava and expose that true beauty of metallic black paint. So let's go ahead and remove it. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the tape and show the 50-50 difference between the old and the new. So now I'm going to take my inspection light and I'm going to go ahead and shine it and inspect the differences. Now you can see we have a clear side on this side and the old side, which has scratches and swirls all on it. We have a crystal clear side on this side and a hazy side right here. What a great finish. Now we have swirl-free and scratch-free finish that's really going to look great in the sun. We can see all that metallic and sparkle color inside the paint. And it's really going to stand out once we take the car outside. So now you know exactly how to remove all those pesky swirls and scratches from your paint and make your finish look great and awesome, just like the day you bought it from the factory or from the dealer. So if you have any more questions about polishing or removing swirls and scratches, check out our website, camelguys.com.